the Nisqually River in September 2007 is just a trickle compared to the flooding that occurred in November 2006. Join me as I hike the Wonderland Trail and survey the changes made since that devastating flood. Well, I spent a nice evening at Golden Lakes, slept in a little late, and contemplated day 2, which was originally going to be a very long 35-mile day. I ended up cutting the day short, and we'll talk about that a little later. In the meantime, Golden Lakes in the morning was as pristine as ever. Well, it's day 2. I had another glorious night last night going through Silver Forest. Stars were ablaze, and seems like I always go through there at night. I think I've only been there in the day maybe a couple of times. Overnight, Golden Lakes, pretty good sleep, although I'm a little late this morning getting off. I just kind of slept in over my alarm. Trail's in real good shape. No problems with it at all. We've covered the crossings. There's another one coming up for the North and South Mowich rivers, and we'll check those out. But mostly, it's been a real pleasant hike so far. The weather is not a cloud in the sky this morning. And like I said, the trail is in fine shape. There's not a log to cross. Everything's been cleared out. So the Park Service and the volunteers have done a tremendous job so far. So it's September 8th, and it's about 8:20 a.m. Perhaps due to a wetter season, there has been an abundance of fungus on this year's hike. Some I haven't even seen before. Well, this is the first log I've had to climb over on this trail after doing over 30 miles. Imagine this will be cut out. It's a little precarious, held up by just a couple of trees. Alright, here's the trail down for the first crossing of the Mowich rivers. Lots of work here. The Mowich River crossings look like the rest so far. A tangled mess of boulders, erosion, and fallen trees. There's an older bridge that's been tossed about. And there's a new bridge. Section that's between the North and South Mowich rivers, and here you can see where a branch of the South Mowich came tearing through the woods. Mowich River Camp and Shelter. And its attendant facilities are intact, unaffected by the flood. And a new bridge for the North Mowich River crossing. After ascending towards the Mowich Lake, I elected to do the higher road across Spray Park and Seattle Park, as beautiful as ever. Marmot Creek is my companion as I descend to the Carbon River. Now here's an area that's had significant impact by the flooding. The Carbon River Camp is still open, but the bridge is gone over Cataract Creek. Just a distant memory at this point, and so to use the Carbon River Camp, you're going to have to ford the creek. You can't drive on the road to Ipsit Creek anymore. Foot traffic and bicycle traffic only. Let's take a look. the Carbon River has destroyed huge sections of this road. But apparently the park superintendent plans on reconstructing the road for vehicular traffic. Here you see the huge log jam on the bridge that used to cross Ipsit Creek, which has moved a little down the road. The Wonderland Trail does follow its old path for a short distance, paralleling the Carbon River. However, the carbon has washed out the trail right down to the bedrock, and at this point you have to cross at a lower section that is for the Northern Loop Trail. The fickle carbon now crashes through the forest on a new course for a short distance. It leaves a small trickle where it used to run as a reminder that this was where the mighty carbon used to be. The huge boulder field stands as an empty reminder that the carbon used to be here. Shortly you come across more evidence of erosion as a reminder of last year's storm. This part of the trail does intersect with the suspension bridge that takes you back over the carbon. Use the suspension bridge to access Carbon River Camp or to go over Seattle and Spray Park to Mowich Lake. If you're using Ipsit Pass on the Wonderland Trail, you'll want to stay on this side of the carbon and cross at the lower crossing. After the suspension bridge, you are back on the normal course of the Wonderland Trail, paralleling the Carbon Glacier. Pika appears to see what's up. Well, this has not been a good day. I haven't felt too well, little stomach problems here, and I was going really slow. And I wanted to make the West Fork of the White River before it got dark, because that's one of the major areas that's been impacted by the flooding. And I was a couple hours behind that, so I decided to turn the 3-day into a 4-day, and I'm stopping early this evening and trying to take care of myself as best I could with medication, try to get plenty of sleep, and feed and water, etc., etc. And then tomorrow hopefully I can blast through. I'll hit that first thing in the morning for the videotaping, and then up over the Sunrise area, and I'll probably go through White River and get closer to the destination. So right now I'm just kind of playing it by ear, but you know, I just had to throttle back, and it's just one of those things that happens. 3-day itinerary, you have to be pretty much on top of your game, and you have to be able to motor pretty well, and it wasn't happening for me today. Maybe I'm just getting old and tired, but I think the new plan will work pretty well. I do have a few extra days, and so the weather has been fantastic, and it's going to continue to be so. The forecast is right on. So I'll take care of myself tonight, see how I feel in the morning.